We want to go now to meteorologist Cecily Tynan, who is tracking what has just been issued, a tornado warning.
Yes, and this is the same cell I showed you at the top of the newscast. So we do have a tornado warning now for northern Newcastle County in Delaware, southeastern Chester County in southeastern Pennsylvania, and southwestern Delaware County. See this polygon? So it's from Newark, Wilmington, just to the east of West Goshen and New Garden. Now, a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Landenberg, 7 miles north of Newark, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. And this is something you don't hear from the National Weather Service much. This is a particularly dangerous situation, so take cover now. So if you live within this polygon, you need to get into your basement right now. If you don't have a basement, get into an interior room in the lowest level of your home, a bathroom, a closet. Get away from the windows, and you want to put as many layers between you and the outdoors as possible. It is moving right now. Let me see the movement. Northeast of 40 miles an hour. So this is moving very quickly. Why don't we go ahead and go to the radar? We can track the storm moving northeast of 40 miles an hour. We want to track it to give you plenty of warning to get out of the path. So you can see right now near New Garden, heading towards 202, heading towards Wilmington, heading towards the I-95 corridor. And why don't we go ahead and see if we can see any notching with this, or let's go ahead and track it first, and then we'll go to relative velocity to see if we can see any of the rotation. So North Star, Hockessin, Chadds Ford, Concord, Upper Chichester, and Green Ridge, all in this path of this possible tornado moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. And this is with the cold front that's pushing in to the heat and humidity. And so we did have a risk of tornadoes, low risk, but not zero. And again, near Landenberg, looks like there is a tornado moving northeast at 40 miles an hour very quickly. We've had 140 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes. So this is an indication that this storm has a lot of juice. It's running into the heat and humidity that can provide the lift and relative velocity right now. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Right now, it looks like the winds are quite strong. I don't see a strong gate-to-gate shear with this, but the National Weather Service has detected something. Tornado threat right now also towards Westchester. So looks like between Newark and Wilmington, there is an indication that we have some very strong winds. The severe thunderstorm warning did come with a tag of the potential for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So even if you don't get the rotation, you don't get a tornado, with that type of wind, you can get a lot of tree damage. So we can see, here we go. This looks a little bit more, I don't want to say promising, but stronger, where we have the green, which is an indication of the winds heading towards the radar site, the red away. So it does look very close to Newark, Delaware, that we have some rotation in the atmosphere. The radar detected, we haven't heard anything of any eyewitness reports, but a lot of times when you get so much rain, it's going to be rain wrapped, so you're not going to see anything anyhow, but moving northeast very quickly at about 40 miles per hour. So it looks like it is heading towards Route 202 and I-95. Rainfall rates show that because the atmosphere is just so loaded with moisture, we've had dew points in the mid-70s. It drops a lot of rain in a short period of time. So we're looking at a rainfall rate of more than an inch an hour. So this comes with many threats. We have the rain, could cause some localized flooding. We have the damaging winds and possibly also hail, potential debris. So this is what's called a correlation coefficient. It shows if there's something other than just rain in the atmosphere. I don't see a strong indication of a debris ball, so that's good news. But it does show that there is something in the air that is not just rain between Newark and Wilmington. So where you have the red, that is the tornado warning. It's in effect until 5:30, and we also have that severe thunderstorm warning too. So it's all the same cluster. Typically, when you get storms like this moving in ahead of a cold front, the strongest part of the storms, it's the leading edge. So we have that cooler, drier air encountering the warm, humid air mass that we have, and that's what triggers the severe weather. Tornado warning for much of Newcastle County, Chester County, and a small portion of Delaware County until 5:30. Zooming in, you can see near Hockessin right now. If you live there, you are hearing the thunder. You're hopefully not seeing the lightning, because you should be in a basement right now, taking shelter in your safe place between London, Britain, Pike Creek, that's a very populated area, Albertson, Woodburn, Cozart, Concord, Thornbury, Kennett, East Marlborough. If you live within these areas, within the polygon, again, seek shelter very quickly, right away. Find that safe spot in your basement. Tornado safety, you want to avoid windows. I know this day and age, everyone's got one of these, an iPad or a phone. They want to get video. Don't do that. Avoid windows. Get into your basement. If you don't have a basement, get into an interior hallway or a closet. The lowest level of your home, and a good idea to get under a sturdy object as well. So why don't we go ahead and reset for the tornado warning. Again, it was just issued for much of Chester County, it's kind of the northern portion of Newcastle County and into Delaware County. So from Newark through Birmingham, Wilmington, and just to the west of Chester for the potential for tornadoes, hail, wind, and it's kind of a quadruple threat, and also some very heavy rain. So this is moving northeast very quickly at about 40 miles per hour. Why don't we go back to the radar and we can track it, Paul? Because I want people to see where the storm is heading. So 166 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes. I'm trying to see where there's a notch with the radar. It's really hard to see because it's very rain wrapped, but we do have some indications of some notching. A lot of times with severe weather, it's the discrete cells, the cells ahead of the main batch, but also with a big fiery storm like this, you can get a little bit of notching within the radar, and that's an indication that the winds within that storm are starting to rotate. You get the rotating winds. If it creates a wall cloud, a funnel cloud, and if it touches down, it causes that tornado. So this shows the relative velocity again. Looks like it's very close to the Chadds Ford area. I would say between Newgard and Chadds Ford. We've got the gate-to-gate shear where we have the green, the winds rushing towards the radar site. We have the red, the winds rushing away. So if you live in Chadds Ford, seek shelter right away. If you know anybody who's perhaps going to be driving along 202 between West Goshen and Wilmington, give them a call and tell them to get to a sturdy location. Find a gas station, find a Walmart. You really don't want to be in your car during this. We do see some of that rotation right now just to the south of Chadds Ford, kind of between Chadds Ford and Wilmington, heading towards 202. And again, the National Weather Service has said that this is a particularly dangerous situation. Seek shelter immediately if you live in this area, because there are some indications with the radar that we do have some rotation, some spin in the atmosphere that could cause that tornado. I'm trying to see if we have any updates from the National Weather Service. No updates yet. Trying to see if we can find another. We'll probably get that could actually be the debris ball. So while we were seeing some of that rotation south, so this again is what's called the correlation coefficient. So it shows the matter in the atmosphere, and when there's something a little bit different from the rain, it picks up. So this shows just to the north of Chadds Ford, just to the west of 202. This could be a debris ball. We don't typically see this a lot when we have tornado warnings, but we do see them when we have some of the stronger tornadoes, and with a particularly dangerous situation, this is quite possible. So if you live anywhere from Chadds Ford, West Goshen, northeast, get in your basement right away. You want to be in your safe place. This storm is moving very quickly. It's moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So it looks like it'll be crossing 202, heading towards the blue route if it stays together. So Westtown, Willistown, Marple, Springfield, Haverford, and Marion all in the path of the storm. Now, so Haverford and Marion, it's past the 5:30. Which is the deadline for the tornado warning, but a lot of times it does get extended. And another thing, when you see this cone, there's a reason for it. Tornadoes, even though this one is moving northeast at 40 miles an hour, they don't always follow the same path. Sometimes they decide to change direction. Sometimes they start to move faster. Sometimes they start to move slower. Sometimes they pick up and then they touch down again. So that's why it's almost like a cone of uncertainty. It flares out because as that storm continues pushing, it could change direction. So it looks like the center of circulation, that possible debris ball right now, is heading between 842 and 202. It's very close to Westtown. If you know anybody in Westtown, give them a call. Tell them to get in their safe place right away. Willistown, Marple, and again, if it holds together, Marion. It does look like this is a pretty significant signature in our correlation coefficient that shows that there is a possible tornado on the ground right now. Storm Tracker 6 back to reflectivity, showing that it's coming with numerous lightning strikes. So we've had 43 lightning strikes in this close-up view over the past 15 minutes. We've had 122 now. So this storm actually is expanding. It's encountering the heat and humidity that's been building through the day. And because of that, instead of dying off, it's getting stronger. So this is something that is very serious. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Straight line winds, so that's outside the possibility of the tornado. That tornado warning again extends right now into parts of Delaware County, so Chester County, Newcastle County. So if you're in Delco, please seek shelter if you're in southwestern Delaware County, Chester, Upper Darby. Now Philadelphia is in the path of this system if it continues on the same path by 5:37. So again, a tornado warning is in effect until 5:30. But if this storm keeps strengthening, this tornado, possible tornado, could be aiming for Philadelphia shortly after 5 o'clock. If the south holds together, Camden, Cherry Hill, and Ben Salem all in the path of this possible tornado. One thing I've seen though today, if you're at the shore, I think the storms are going to be weakening because you have that marine layer. It's not quite as hot as inland areas. So a wider view showing what's going on. All this storm, the storm system is ahead of that cold front that's going to be sweeping through tonight, bring us some relief by tomorrow. But in the meantime, you've got that cold, dry air that's kind of wedging under the hot, humid air we've had today. If you stepped outside, you can feel it is just stifling under that. So the atmosphere is primed to create the severe weather. So we've had 269 lightning strikes in this view alone over the past 15 minutes. And this shows that it's also coming with hail. So we have flooding rains, we have damaging winds, we have a possible tornado, and then we also have some pretty significant hail tracks. So there's been a possibility of hail that's close to an inch. So that's about quarter-size hail. So that shows there's a lot of lift, that when you get storms that are 30, 40, 50,000 feet up, that creates that cold air up there, and that is what brings down the hail. So that hail size really impressive in East Marlboro, close to an inch. So why don't we go ahead and show the tornado warning. If you are just joining us, we do have a tornado warning for parts of Newcastle County between about Newark and Wilmington, eastern Chester County, much of Chester County, and also a small section of Delaware County. So it basically goes from Newark, West Grove, East Marlboro, West Goshen, just southwest Goshen, just to the west of Chester. This storm has been moving northeast about 40 miles an hour, and it has been deemed a considerable threat and a particularly dangerous situation. So that is wording that the National Weather Service typically uses when they see a very good indication that there is in fact a tornado on the ground. This view showing we've had 146 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes, and really looks like right around 202, between 92 and 202 is where we have the heart of the storm. Okay, so we now have the tornado warning canceled. So that's good news. We do have reports of some wind damage in Middletown, Delaware County, between Knoll Road and 352. So we still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. The tornado warning, though, has been canceled. So if you've been taking shelter, you can get out of your basement. I wouldn't go outside because there's still a lot of thunder and lightning. And this storm continues to push. Looks like it'll be pushing into Philadelphia by 5:34. Hopefully this is the last tornado warning of the night. I'm not going to promise that, though, and we will be tracking the storms, and we'll cut in if we have any more tornado warnings. It's going to be a very busy night. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Yeah, you guys have been forecasting that it would be this way, and here we are. Okay, Cecily, thanks for keeping us up to date on that particular storm.
More Action News after this break.